People are strange. Fucking strange.
Is that strange?
That is strange.
That is strange.
Wow, that is strange. This is strange.
And welcome to another episode of Strange Sauna, everybody. Today is going to be a fun, wild show. We're going to just go over some strange and creepy video clips. Flex, I know you brought the heat today, brother. What's going on?
Not much. I'm just enjoying my pina colada cocktail, 7%.
Oh, Malibu.
I got a drink.
Wow.
I got a drink. You guys have pushed me to drinking. I'm not a drinker, but I'm having fun with my drink. We're gonna have fun with some really strange clips.
Be careful, because you know what Brian said about drinking. You're gonna let those demons in, bro.
My demons are there, bro. Just come and get
Yeah.
them. Come and get them. Yeah.
All right, I hear you. Just face the music.
Stuff.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're gonna do something a little bit different, everybody. We're going to kind of steer away from politics today. Keep a level head. You know what I mean? Because I know like Trump is what he is. A lot of people love him. A lot of people hate him. We don't care. All right. It's not going to change anything. The world's going to keep on spinning. And here we are. But the world is way more interesting than just politics. And it's way more interesting than just Donald Trump. So
it is.
Flex, where do you want to begin, brother?
Oh, there's so much. So I've got a little clock here, folks. So we're going to talk for 3 minutes on each topic, kind of just keep it
Even though it
to
said
that
5.
sort of like
No,
a rapid fire. We watch a video and Greg says his piece, I say my piece, and then we hit the button whether we believe it or not. We'll have that down the road later. We're like boop, and we're like nah. It's going to be like a variety show here. All right,
there we go.
So yeah, I like to start probably with now this is political, but doesn't really involve Trump. But this first video, I called it Meat Market Trafficking Bill, because that's literally what the guy in the video is saying. And I did look it up online and it's there.
Really?
But And people in California, have you got any California people out there? This is pretty messed up.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie.
Well, let's take a look. Let's watch this video, and then I'm going to keep an eye on the chat to make sure you guys can hear, because, hey, we're going to a different format here. All right? So check out this video. Let's try this out here.
Is this conspiracy theory or is this reality? What I'm about to tell you is going to shock you because I fact-checked this according to AI.
It's a meat market bill. It is a trafficking bill. It is unbelievable. So much so, don't believe me. Go to realimpact.us. It allows an individual to obtain this new form that comes with the bill. They fill it out, and they can name a child. John goes to a school in California and says, I have this form, and I am asking for Susie Q to be received into my custody. I want to take her out of school. The bill does not require a background check for this man, requires no identification, no driver's license, no nothing. There's no requirement in the bill for the school to call you to ask you if it's okay if John takes your daughter out of school. If this bill passes, I am going to ask you to leave the state of California. You're going to need to pack up and you're going to have to get out. You got to get out. You got to run with your kids. You got to go.
Hey, Grok, I'm going to ask you some questions about AB 495 in California. Please respond with a yes or a no answer. According to AB 495, a child can be taken from school from their caregiver. Is that correct? Yes. According to AB 495, it says that this includes non-relative extended family members who can sign the affidavit. Would this also include them? Yes. Can anyone essentially fall into the category then of a non-relative family member? Yes. Is there anything in this bill explicitly that would prevent a stranger from kidnapping a child from school, provided they filled out the affidavit and claimed to be a non-relative family member? And Grok says no. This is not conspiracy theory. This is life in California. If you live there, the time to stand up or leave is now.
Now. It had a little glitchy there at the end. But yeah,
I was going to say.
I don't know what the hell this is. I feel like they're gaslighting everybody at this point, especially parents, because as a parent, you're saying basically anybody can say that they are a non-relative and go pick up my kid or do whatever with my kid and just knock on the school door and be like, hey, I'm here to pick up Greg's son or Greg's daughter. It's like, what are we coming to here?
Reason why I feel like this could be very true. It's because it is California.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, California and New York, two beautiful places, are just absolute shit. It's just a shit show now. And this is the reason why, is because they put in, it's almost like they're putting in a bill, and the way it's worded, unless you pick up on it, you're like we're watching, being like, oh, that's worded a little weird. But it's no difference when they're doing like, oh, we want to protect kids online and do the censoring bill. And it's like they're using kids. So yeah, they're going to gaslight this shit.
Well, yeah. And not only that, but anytime they say they're introducing something to make it more affordable, more safe, like I'm just saying, like it's going to be more expensive down the road. It's going to cost more money to somebody, everybody. And then it's also going to be less safe. Right. Yeah. Or I mean, it's not either less safe, or it's going to take away a civil liberty or expose your child to some sort of predator that wants to.
Or all of the above.
All of the above. Right.
Yeah. They don't let any of this go to waste. So I can see a little bit of both. But if we have any people in California, if you know if this is true, it's been passed, I don't know. I'm looking at it kind of like it doesn't surprise me because of the state that it is. Just like when you hear some really weird murder in Florida, like, you know what I mean? It's just got some.
Well, I want to hear what the defense of this bill is, because they call it like the mentoring relationship. So it's like supposed to make it easier for like mentors to come pick up your child. But I'm like, mom and dad, just go pick up your freaking kid. Right.
Yeah. Or if that's the case, you have to show ID. So again, it's the same thing that they're doing with the vote. It's just like, oh, you don't need to show ID. It's like if you're voting, you show ID. If you're picking up someone else's kid or your own kid and they don't know who you are, show ID. There's nothing wrong with it. We got 30 seconds, Greg. What else you got on this?
Last question. Does Gavin Newsom run for president in 2028?
Yes.
I heard The Rock is going to run. So he's going to have some stiff competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're both actors. Just one gets paid a little bit more.
That's true. That's it. All right.
That's
enough
Gavin.
About Gavin Newsom. What's next on the list here?
So the next video I have here, this is a political one, but it's talking about the Israeli government official arresting someone in Nevada for child trafficking. I know, Greg, we were just talking about this.
Yes.
I won't give it away, but it says Israeli government official arrested.
Right. So one would think that if you're a predator against children, you would get arrested and reprimanded at the full weight of the law. Right.
Yes, you should.
Well, let's keep an eye on this guy and let's see what happens here. OK. All right, here we go.
This story is not getting enough attention. You got to listen to this. An Israeli government official was arrested in the United States during an undercover child predator operation. Now he's already released and back in Israel, and no one is talking about how suspicious this sounds. So Tom Alexandrovich, according to his now deleted LinkedIn, was an executive director of the Israel Cyber Directorate, a government agency under Netanyahu's office. He was caught in Las Vegas and faced felony charges of luring a child online for sex. 8 people were arrested in this sting, and his name was on that list. He was in Las Vegas for this year's Black Hat, which is a big cybersecurity conference, and he even posted a picture of it on his LinkedIn before he wiped it. He was later then released on a $10,000 bail and went back straight to Israel. Now, this is where it gets extremely sketchy and suspicious. When the Israeli media covered it, they downplayed it big time. Listen to this. Ynet, this is an Israeli media outlet. They said he was only detained for questioning during the conference and then returned to his hotel and flew back 2 days later. And then the Israeli officials downplayed it even more, saying it had no political implications. The prime minister's office even claimed he was never arrested at all, and you can check the articles. So in the US, we're seeing felony charges, bail, and arrest record, but in Israel, they're just reporting a quick questioning and a routine flight back home. Two completely different stories, and honestly, this is pretty damn suspicious. This story is
okay. Yeah, I have a lot to say about this because the judge or the administrator that let this person go was appointed by Trump, and was appointed by Trump not in the normal way. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to like talk smack about Trump on this thing, but Segal Chata, okay, this is who we're talking about, this lady right here. She's Israeli born, right? So the fact that she did this favor for a fellow Israeli, I mean, it's kind of like suspicious, right? But this is a video of that Anomaly put out about the appointment of Segal Chata. Chatatata? I don't know what her name is, to the acting U.S. attorney for Nevada weeks ago, and she kind of bypassed the normal process. Okay? So everybody take a watch on here.
President Trump has appointed Segal Chata as the acting U.S. attorney for Nevada, bypassing the normal process of requiring a confirmation. Chata spoke with CBS affiliate KLAS in Las Vegas, where she said she has resigned from her position as the interim U.S. attorney before the deadline, which allowed the president to appoint her in the new role and retain her position indefinitely. Chata also says the president appointed her as a special attorney to the U.S. Attorney General. Nevada Senators Jackie Rosen and Catherine Cortez Masto both released statements condemning the move, saying Chata is unfit for the role.
Okay. So we kind of bypassed the normal process. She resigns her original position, gets appointed by Trump to the acting U.S. attorney for Nevada. So Chata for Nevada kind of rhymes. Hey, I like it too.
Rhymes. I like it, man.
I don't like how she is sending or allowing this predator to go back to Israel. And I do have, real quick, another video that talks about Israel and how kids are let people kind of, there's a loophole. I'll just put it that way. Here, you watch this little tiny video here real quick, okay?
CBS News investigation has uncovered a loophole that allows accused and convicted American pedophiles to escape justice by moving to Israel.
Jewish Community Watch, an organization that hunts down accused pedophiles who flee to Israel from the U.S., exploiting a process called law of return, whereby any Jewish person can move to Israel and automatically gain citizenship.
The ease with which pedophiles seem able to use this law as an escape route haunts victims like Mendy Hawk, who says he was abused from age 8 by a teacher at an Orthodox Jewish school in Los Angeles.
Yom Tov pled guilty in 2002 to sexually abusing and committing lewd acts against 3 other boys.
Trying to avoid the YouTube thing.
But when he was released, he violated his probation and, according to JCW, fled to Israel with help from individuals within the Orthodox Jewish community. JCW tracked Yom Tov down and confronted him with a hidden camera in Jerusalem, where he admitted to illegally fleeing the United States with help and using a fake passport to enter Israel.
So, bottom line is they're allowed to go over there, right? So why is there this loophole? And then what are we doing to close this loophole? I haven't heard much about this. This was back in 2020 that this video was posted on CBS.
I mean, they've been doing this since day one, not even just with child trafficking, like the whole 9/11, all the people that they got out of there back to Israel and back to Afghanistan or Iraq. Yeah, I just kind of, I'm shaking my head because why so obvious? Why are we making this look obvious? And right. I keep thinking that it's for when and if we say F you to Israel, we can say, hey, we hugged you tight. We loved you. We supported you. We gave you money. We let your criminals get scot-free. Right. That's all I can think. That's all I can think on that, Greg. I'm just kind of sitting there going like,
I'm with you. It seems like there's a lot of Israel mud being thrown at the wall so it sticks in everybody's brains on purpose. Yes. So we'll see what happens to that.
And then when the U.S. decides it needs to distance itself, they can't say, especially with with your president, I will not say his name ever again.
There we go.
Or just on today's show.
He who shall not be named.
Yeah. So that's my take. We got about 40 seconds, Greg, here. So if you want to say your last bit on that, If not, we can move on.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of obvious right now. You have Netanyahu calling for mass censorship on social media networks and deploying some algorithm techniques that we can kind of help Israel out even more. So I think that it's just becoming more and more obvious the amount of control that Israel has over U.S. politicians, U.S. media, U.S. everything. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. And at this point, we just have to see how it plays out, because down the road, if there is that separate, that little fight that they have, and timer's done. All right, we move on.
There we go. What's next?
That's it.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's it. So switching gears here, I found this really interesting video about Disney World.
Oh.
And I've always heard about how Disney has its own set of laws. I remember they didn't have to pay tax because it's almost like Washington, D.C., District of Columbia. Like Disney is its own place.
Yeah.
So watch this video. Again, they used AI. I thought it was really cool how they did it. But yeah, there's some really weird stuff going on how Disney governs its own self.
Okay, let's check this out.
What if Disney World was never a park? What if it was a controlled zone?
I don't know why this is
with its own laws, its own police, and no one watching from the outside. In Florida, Disney negotiated a deal.
Okay.
A special
timeout. I'm going to try playing. I'm going to try playing on this screen here. I want to restart this because that's not working.
What if Disney World was never a park? What if it was a controlled zone with its own laws, its own police, and no one watching from the outside? In Florida, Disney negotiated a deal, a special district where they write the rules, building codes, waste management, even emergency services, all under Disney's control. That means when something happens here, it never has to reach the news. The Tower of Terror is 199 feet tall, not 200. One more foot and the FAA would demand lights, permits, oversight. They built it 1 foot short to stay invisible. The flags on Main Street, not real. One stripe missing, one star wrong. So they never have to lower them to half-mast. No outside rules. The Haunted Mansion hearse, real. Bought from an actual funeral home. Near the exit, a small metal ring in the concrete, not a decoration, a fixed marker, used by staff who know exactly what it means. Disney has its own security, its own jail, and a protocol for moving people off property before they're declared dead. If you die inside the park, they'll keep you alive until you're outside. So, on paper, it never happened here. This isn't a theme park. It's a live simulation of a perfect system. Tested every day on millions of volunteers, including you. What if Disney World...
Dude, I remember talking about this on Pardon My American.
Mm-hmm.
Where
you guys did.
Where, they skirt around the rules. They make the Tower of Terror 1 foot below code so they don't have to follow any of the rules, which is a genius on their part, right? I mean...
Yeah, I mean...
They don't have to worry about the flag.
It might have not been diabolical, but Disney has very close ties to a lot of things that we've talked about with the child stuff. Just the whole, I don't want to say it, but it kind of like
Predator vibe,
cult kind of Satan kind of vibe. You see the 666 in the logo and all stuff like that, but they do like to protect themselves with certain things. And I remember one lady had a peanut allergy. She said, don't give me anything with peanut sauce or peanut in it. And the restaurant didn't pay attention and she died, and her husband tried to sue, and Disney says, you can't sue us because you have the Disney app, and the Disney app actually says through our app, we're not responsible for anything, so they protect themselves with everything, bro.
Yeah,
everything.
that is like one of those things where big oil, big pharma, big Disney, dude. Like there's definitely no way you're going after Disney. And I actually remember this. It's kind of like Under Armour. I had a friend who had a store, and he started it over in Bend. This was like many, many, many years ago. And he got sued by Under Armour, and he had to rename his brand because it was like something Armor or like Armory. It wasn't even close to. I'm like, what?
No, but it doesn't matter. Like if you're anywhere, you can't even try to come close to it. He should call it armor, you know, or something.
Or something, yeah, you know what I mean?
Overwear instead of underwear. But, you know, but going back to like the Disney, like as Richard was saying in the chat here, the 33 Club, all the Disney
Club 33,
kids end up being completely messed up.
Yep.
You know, there's just a lot. There's a lot there where I'm like, you know, I really have a hard time just putting in Disney too. Wicked, yeah, that's a great one.
So Mickey, if you put Mickey on a cup, if you look at the reflection of the liquid, it says wicked. So Mickey reflected is wicked, upside down, of course.
And you know the 666 in their logo,
right?
The fact that you know Walt had his head frozen.
Yeah, I was just talking about that. Is it what is it?
And that's why they made them. That's why they made the movie Frozen, is when you type it in, that wouldn't come up anymore.
Same thing with Wicked. They have a movie called Wicked or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we got a couple 25 seconds here. So Disney can't be trusted. This doesn't surprise me, Greg. What are your thoughts? Is there nefarious shit going down?
I think Walt Disney's going to come back as the Antichrist. I think that they're going to use AI.
Oh, damn.
Yep, I'm calling it right now.
Right.
It's no longer the man who we can't speak of on this show. It is Walt Disney. He will be the Antichrist. He'll have a Hitler mustache. I think it's all just he's going to convince all these kids to come into the park, and it's going to get bad. It's going to get real bad.
All right, I like that. I mean, listen, we are a conspiracy show. We'd be silly not to talk about what we really feel. I agree. Oh man. All right. Next topic, sir. What do you got? You got anything, or do you want me to continue? I got something on.
Let's continue. I'm going to try to play this on Instagram, but it's being really weird. So sorry for the glitches, everybody. We're just going to have to balls through it.
As my friend would say, and he's in the chat right now, pay your bill. So anytime my internet would be slow, he'd be like, JJ, pay your bill.
Yeah. I just disconnected all my kids' stuff from the internet. So
and I told him I'm gonna call him out very quickly. So one of my best friends lives here in BC. Everyone knows his name is Dexter. We were at a store and I was kind of just playing around with something on the counter, and there's music playing in the place. And just as the music stopped for the next song to start, and the room was very quietly, he says out loud, "Well, you're known to steal shit." Oh, because this as a joke, and I felt, and he saw it too. Everybody in the store turned and looked at me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like calling. That's like saying fire in a
you
movie
did that.
theater.
So he has started a war because I will trump that. Damn, I said his name. But yeah, it was today. He just said, "Well, you're known for stealing shit," you know. Just and the room had gone quiet because the music had stopped, and I'm like, God Almighty.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's try this next video out here. What do we got?
So the next one says, "Who owns MrBeast?" Now, I think everybody should follow this guy. It's called Artizzt, Artizzt. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Don't care. I'm Canadian. We don't know how to pronounce shit up here in Canada. A boot and stuff like that. But I like these guys' videos, and I think every week we should play one of his videos because he does the connect the dots and explains who owns who. He has like a little tree going on, and he's talking about, you know, how Greg does it with religion and the cult. This guy does it with like who owns who. So today episode will be MrBeast, who I don't get this guy. I don't trust him. Okay. I don't like him.
Let's try this out.
MrBeast really doesn't want you to know who owns him. He commented on my last video acting all oblivious, so now I really have to expose who raised him $300 million. He's owned by the same people that own Kai Cenat, Hassan Piker, Rizzler Kids. These people are Drewski, Playboy Max. He used to be owned by Scale Lab and made videos like these. At 1 million subs, he needed more money and became friends with Reed Dusher, the CEO of Night Media, who slept in 19-year-old Jimmy's when he was 30, quickly got MrBeast a honey sponsorship, then a sponsor with Aspirian, owned by a credit business that works with bankers and moneylenders, started by the Wolfson family. And suddenly, all of his videos were about money. Night Media's CEO is Ezra Cooper Stein. Their investor is Peter Chernin, who owned Barstool Sports, Cameo and was Rupert Murdoch's right-hand man, who worked closely with Ari Emanuel, who owned all these people. On record, Night Media scrubbed MrBeast's channel and told him what not to say. Night Media got him an NBA deal with the Chicago Hornets, got him a deal with Amazon recently. Guess who the CEO of Amazon is? And MrBeast got a $300 million investment from Alpha Wave Gamma, run by Rick Gerson, who personally knows Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, the CEO of Blackwater, and the Prince of the Emirates. Why do you think MrBeast never accepted the interview with me? What do you think everyone I mentioned has in common? MrBeast.
What do they have in common there, Flex?
They're owned.
Yeah.
Everyone owns everybody. We've always said follow the money, you know, with anything. And this is not difficult to follow the money because companies own companies own companies. At the very end of it, it's probably either the government that owns it, BlackRock, or what's the other one? Is there another one there, Greg? I can't even remember.
I mean, BlackRock, Blackstone. There's
Blackstone,
just everything at the top that
it's really five companies that own everything that are owned by people that
I will say there was a couple connections there, like Ari Emanuel. I think that the last picture that Kanye West posted to X before he got banned by Elon Musk was Elon Musk getting hosed down by Ari. I think it's Ari Emanuel. That's what he said. Famously from Israel, right? I'm just saying. So, or at least he's Jewish. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but with MrBeast. He just kind of came out of nowhere. He has his own TV show. He's getting kids to watch TV shows now. And it's like, I feel like if we are going towards this end time scenario, prophetic, we have literally MrBeast come out and he's getting super popular. It's kind of like one of those things where they want to flood beast, the word beast, right? Because the beast rises from the bottomless pit, right? 9/11.
It's very creepy. I actually saw a video about him talking about why he smiles like that. And he smiles like that for the algorithm to pick up the photo differently. It's very strange where he says, you don't do something with your eyes, you do something with your smile. And I'm just kind of like,
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I got to find that video because I did save it a while back.
I was looking at somebody's profile on YouTube. And I noticed that every thumbnail that they put in with a face that's smiling had way more views than the other videos.
Yes. And it's something with the eyes and not smiling. But like MrBeast, we've got Zuckerberg. He didn't create Facebook. DARPA did. He's in place as a face head.
Right.
Same with Jeff Bezos. Same with Elon Musk. Like everything, like I said, is owned by these companies or the U.S. government, the shadow governments. And we kind of know that. But my final thoughts, because we've got 30 seconds left here, is just like I've never trusted the guy. I think he's pulling some kind of MK Ultra on kids, just with the way he talks and stuff. Yeah, which will be our next video, by the way.
His show is mirroring Squid Games. It's like a fun Squid Games, and what? Okay, well, here we go. We're teaching people to backstab people and cut them so that way you can get money.
Well, they started that with Survivor, the longest running reality show. That's where timer's up here. That's where I kind of go. They've already been prepping us for this.
Gotcha.
They really have been.
Okay, what's next?
Well, next is some Hollywood stuff. And I think I've talked about this before, even in our private chats, when I feel someone's been swapped out, not necessarily, or the MK Ultra has really kicked in and has something to do with their hair, what they do with their hair.
Yes.
And I started seeing the pattern a few years ago, especially if they wear pink, the color of the hair, pearls, if they wear pearls, and if they have a tattoo of a butterfly on them. So just interesting here, because I'm just kind of like, and I'll say my take on how I think the media is a form of this as well.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
The CIA's notorious mind control program designed to wipe memories.
For those that don't pay attention, you might never notice that every single time an actor, musician, or anyone related from Hollywood is about to become more famous or move up the ladder, they always seem to reappear with bleached blonde hair. There is no way this is just a coincidence.
Okay. Showing all these celebrities with bleached blonde hair.
Brad Pitt.
I've never met any man or groups of men who wish to dye their hair bleach. Blonde, it just doesn't happen. How far does MK Ultra go? Memory suppression.
You know, it's been...
You have a release date.
You know what? They did the Brighter Days memory erasure treatment to me, so I'm having trouble remembering the details. They're foggy because at the Brighter Days clinic, they do the memory erasure, you know?
Yeah. No, what?
The memory erasure. They erase my memories. It's a little foggy, but...
Man, give me a date. Give me a date.
You know what? I'll have to go back to the clinic and see if they can restore my memory. Brighter Days memory erasure treatment.
Whoa, that's loud. Okay.
It's just a music video that shows the checkered floor. They're showing like their
So
brain
you probably ask
being
yourself,
monitored.
why would someone as rich and famous and Ariana Grande want her memory surpassed? It's
was the CIA.
Okay, and then it just cuts off. I love like the AI, like there's so much going on in the world. There's all these celebrities who have bleached their hair. Yeah, it's like, okay, just use a normal voice, people.
I get it. I get it. They like to sorry, I'm just trying to start my clock here. But they like to always tell us without telling us.
Right.
You know, and I think the way they do that is with the hair. And I see it all the time, and I'm kind of thinking like, okay, no big deal. Like, what are we really worrying about here? And again, for us guys, it might not mean anything. To them, it does. I think that's how they tell each other that this person's ready or has accepted or we've messed them up.
Right,
You know,
has
and I
already
actually-
gone through it. Yeah.
I actually feel we are all being MK'd ultra'd. And what I mean by that is our media, our TV, like we are brainwashed. So this is at a different level where they can control these people, but they're also controlling us through the media. So we are basically MK'd ultra, you know, and like Mockingbird, like Project Mockingbird, you know, even though it's sort of a CIA program, who do you think invented television, programming, you know, and stuff like that? So I feel, you know, we all should be having blonde hair because we've all been literally.
Well, it's not
MK'd
just
ultra.
blonde, it's bleach. And if you think about what bleach does, is it kills things and it erases
everything.
things, right?
Yeah.
It's like a
No, very
sign
good
of,
point.
hey, this person's been erased. And so when
Yes,
you shave their
good
head
point.
and you bleach it and you make it very short and you make it look like skin, you say, hey,
Yeah.
you're shaving off something, an identity, and you're giving them a new identity. That's pretty much
Yeah.
what it looks like to me.
And then I think they switch people out. Like I think Eminem's been switched out. I think Miley Cyrus has been switched out. You know, Britney Spears. I have a video on that, which we can do next week because I'm doing I want to do a little bit of a Britney thing because she seems to be back in the news.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the switching out is maybe they don't go along with stuff and they're like, well, you're worth too much just to kill you off. So we'll switch you out. Avril Lavigne is someone that they've done as well. Paul McCartney, faux Paul, you know, like they switch people out for sure. And I remember when he got switched out, he had his hair blonde. This is Eminem, and he got switched out.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he came back and he just looked different.
Well, speaking of switched out, and I know we're not going to talk about this guy, but this was the president in the Oval Office today with no tie on. Now, I text Flex and I said, Flex, does this look like Trump? And you said, no, sirree, Bob. Does that look like Trump to anybody?
It looks like what you said, Greg. Paul McCartney.
Paul
This is the
McCartney?
only thing we're only gonna talk about this fool once tonight.
There
Sorry.
you go. So I don't know.
Goodbye.
I'm like, he's not wearing a tie, so that's different. And like everybody's not wearing ties. So it's just kind of.
It's always a code. When
Right.
I believed in code, but I'm tired of the game. I'm tired of it. I'm just like, nope, sorry.
Yep. Not a code. He's
Nope.
just he's a body clone. So I don't know. So
Well,
yeah, that was weird. I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah.
Trump's doing, but yeah, for me, like the celebrity stuff, like with Britney, when she shaved her head, she shaved her own head, like, you know what I mean? And then like went after the paparazzi with the whole umbrella thing. I think that it is like a trauma-based thing. Eminem is kind of like, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? How they had all of the clones of Eminem on stage. That was like his thing for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is kind of one of those things, though. Kanye West, he appeared to be completely out of it after he bleached his hair.
Yeah.
Might be onto something there.
Well, yeah. Well, I got 5 seconds left here, and all I have to say is I believe all this, folks, because they go significant changes. You can see them change. And then you see when the hair goes blonde, they get that green, the money. All of a sudden they're in movies and they got these deals and stuff. So that's all I have to say on that one.
There we go.
I wish I had the buzzer. Boop. True.
Okay.
True.
All right. What is this next video about here?
So these next two are kind of tied in. And this is a video being, where are the bodies?
Mm-hmm.
So this guy did some math and the math doesn't add up. And the second video is part of what I think, and the second video will ruin people a little bit, but you know, we'll see. Oh yeah. You'll be like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. So the first one is really, where's the bodies?
Okay.
And yeah, let's watch it.
I've often said, I have not seen a new graveyard in my lifetime. I've never heard about a graveyard being too full to accept new bodies, too. So you would think that there would have to be a lot of them that would say, nope, no vacancy here. So what would you have to do? You would have to take out new plots of land in order to continue to bury people. But they don't do that. So where are the bodies?
We've all seen the viral video of the guy that's a part-time gravedigger that says you'll never see a new cemetery being built, and everybody's saying that that's proof of the Matrix. Well, buckle up, let's go for a ride, because I did the math after it piqued my curiosity. So we'll start with some raw numbers, and for everything I have here, I only used Google's quick search results to keep it even and fair. So, our current population is 340 million today. At our current death rate, that's 7.7% dies every year, for a total of 26,180,000. Well, currently, we've plummeted in the last 25 years to 39.4% buried. That's 10,314,920 a year. So keep that in mind, but let's go back further because cemeteries are never new.
He did his numbers,
old, right?
He did his math.
The most you can fit is 1,250 people in an acre. The American Planning Association says there's currently 140,000 acres. So let's go back even further. So from 1800 to 1900, 80 million Americans died. And from 1900 to 2000, 270 million Americans died. That's a total of 355 million people dead. Well, depending on which schematic you want to use, it was anywhere from 83 to 92% were buried opposed to other methods. I kept it at 80% just to, be heavily conservative and see where this goes. Well, it gets a lot more interesting now because at 80%, that's 284 million graves. At 140,000 acres, it's at best 170 million graves. So we already got 109 million people just chilling out, like stacked up dead somewhere, waiting to get buried or are buried and still have to bury new people every day.
Math does not math.
It is unusual.
There he is.
I think that what a lot of people have said, I believe this to be true, is that if you look into the world population numbers, a lot of people believe that the books are cooked. There's not as many people as they say there are.
Wow. Yeah, either that or people aren't dying as quickly as people are saying, it's not.
Or, Greg, play the second video and then we can combine the two and then talk about it.
Okay, Here we go. All right. Talk about burgers, everybody.
So I was curious the other day and found this online. McDonald's sells 6.5 million burgers in one single day. That's 195 million burgers a month. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't see cows lined up around every corner waiting to be turned into patties. I mean, seriously, do the math. Even if you stretched one cow into a bunch of burgers, you're still talking millions of cows just to keep up. every day. So I started asking myself, where are all these cows coming from? Is there some secret super ranch hidden underground? Are they growing cows in labs, cloning meat behind closed doors? People laugh it off, but think, when was the last time you even saw a cow farm big enough to supply this madness? And don't say imported beef, because even globally, the numbers don't add up smooth. And look, I'm not saying it ain't real meat. I'm just asking the question no one wants to. What the hell are we eating? Because if it ain't cows, then what is it? Remember, I'm not insinuating anything. I am simply asking a question.
Right. It's a good
No,
question.
I'm insinuating something. So part of it has to be, let me start the clock here. 3 minutes. Part of it has to be, yes, the population, they've lied to us about it. We don't know how many people there really are. You know, we're hearing that the size of Africa is even way bigger than the US, Canada, and Russia combined. So again, we don't know. But at the same time, there's quite a few videos and news reports on nefarious shit that they found with McDonald's in the last five years. I don't have any of those videos on here. I just want to keep it as the first video was like, where are we putting everybody?
Mm-hmm.
The second video is me being like, you know, remember that KFC commercial where they showed the person being held over the water in the lake? They dipped the person in the water and then it came out as chicken. And I think someone in our group just said, Tina A said the bodies are in the KFC dinner. So psychopaths run this world. I wouldn't be surprised. And I had McDonald's for the first time today in ages, just because we got a free cheeseburger. They gave us an extra burger. And I'm like, oh, this will be interesting because I'm going to talk about this on the show today. I could be eating a human or cloned meat or half and half, but the math don't math. What do you think there, Greg?
Dude, yeah, I'm right there with you because, I mean, somebody said Soylent Green. Who is this? It was...
Soylent Green's a big yes.
Yeah, Richard. Welcome, Richard. Yeah, so Soylent Green, and that's the thing is, when you look at what is in these burgers, I was telling you, Flex, before the show that we had, there was another guy who had Five Guys burger, he had Burger King or Burgerville, and then McDonald's. He bought a burger from all three places and let it sit out for 30 days in a bag. Five Guys, he could barely even stand to open it. He's like, I don't even know if I should be breathing this because it was all black mold. It was like a gigantic thing of mold. Burger King, you definitely could see it was still a burger, but it was moldy. McDonald's was presentation ready, as he said. It was basically like he bought it on day one. Now, I don't know about you, but normal food doesn't do that. And whatever that, if it's like that on the outside, it's going to be like that on the inside of you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Living forever.
Yeah. Listen, here's something that really, I laughed and I was shocked. McDonald's says made with all beef patties.
Wow.
Do you know what they mean by that? The company that distributes and makes the burgers is called All Beef Patties. So that's why it's called that. All Beef Patties.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Of course, right? And I'm just going to stop the timer here because this will be a little bit longer because we put two videos together. But I was kind of like, it doesn't surprise me because we see it with all our food. Kraft single, they can't call it cheese. That's why it's called singles. It has to have at least 50% cheese. So it doesn't have 50% cheese. Therefore, it's not called Kraft singles.
Okay.
I heard that KFC was changed from Kentucky Fried Chicken because they didn't like the word fried. Nobody cares about that. It's probably because, like Tina A was saying earlier, guess what? It is human.
It ain't chicken.
It ain't chicken.
Right.
It ain't chicken. So, and here's the last thing too, is ice cream, especially Dairy Queen.
Right.
It's not ice cream. They don't call it ice cream.
Yep.
You know,
it's a blizzard.
It's a blizzard. And also it has to have a certain amount of dairy in it to be considered ice, the cream part of it. So they're very, very smart. They're very smart on all this.
Same thing with the drumsticks, those famous drumsticks that everybody used to get from the Schwann's, man. I don't know.
Yes.
But it's like the poisoning of our food is something that I don't think will ever get addressed because what the rationale behind big farming and like the big, and I shouldn't even say farming because this is like, I mean, when you look at a place where mass culling of pigs, chickens, cows, I mean, they're treated like shit. All those animals, they're literally shitting on each other. They're like squished all together, right?
Yeah. Same with your eggs, right? Free range versus cage free. And it's just like,
right. And for me, I think that when you see something that says all organic, it's just a marketing ploy to make you spend more money and feel better about yourself. But it's the same old garbage that you're putting in your body, and you're going to shit it out. And maybe it'll do something like some damage on its way out.
Well, and I've been doing some research into this because I actually want to do a parasite cleanse. Because a lot of what they're saying with cancer and inflammatory, like I have issues with inflammatory recently, and I actually thought it was because I'm hanging around lots of friends that took the what, and I'm getting a little, shedding. I was just talking about that today, being like, I could see that happening. And at the same time, parasites sorry, I'm messing with my camera here. Parasites are known to cause cancers and stuff like that. And the parasites are found mostly in like pork, they say, and sushi, but it's in everything. It's in everything. Like,
no, that's my wife wants to do a parasite cleanse too. But if you think about this whole population program, and if they're saying we're overpopulated, and that's a big myth, then this mass production, that's the number one reason why they say they need to do everything the way they do it, because we have so many people, so many mouths to feed. So we have to do it like this. What if that's a lie? And they don't. It's have all
a lie. This is why I'm so excited on certain days, being like, everything's a lie. The way our Earth is, you showed me that moon video, and I'm getting really into a lot of the moon stuff recently.
We're gonna play that moon video. Yeah, that's coming.
Yeah, and there's lots of stuff, and what we're going to do eventually, folks, is we'll have you guys can somehow, if we do a second show and we do like a Patreon show for that or whatever, we're figuring stuff out that you guys can send us videos to that we can look up and stuff like that. So this is stuff like in our private group we talk about all the time, like the moon and Antarctic, and it's just like, it's fascinating because I know it's all a lie now. Like now I'm more excited to be like, what is really the truth? It's like, damn, okay. Maybe not with the food stuff. I may not want to know what's in there. Like, I'm being honest with you. I did have a cheeseburger today because they threw an extra one in the bag, and I don't eat wheat, and I don't eat dairy,
right?
And I don't eat fake meat or human meat, but I ate it all today.
Just grow a garden. You have
maybe
a perfect little place.
I might grow a wart like the squirrels are getting, or the tentacles that the rabbits are getting.
Dude, I actually heard that. I heard that like pimples and like pus that's poison in your body, that your body's saying like, dude, you're eating like shit. Like that's why when they say when you eat a lot of greasy foods, you get a lot of acne. It's not just grease. It's like plastics and like whatever putrefied food.
Like we know they're spraying shit in the air, and like those animals are eating it. Like rabbits are eating off the leaves and stuff like that. And it's just like, they look almost like zombies. It's apocalyptic kind of look. I'm like, wow, what's going on here? That's the stuff I don't want to know the truth on. I already know they're messing with us, but the other stuff would be fun, just being like, not that we're eating human meats, but just fun things about the moon, the Earth, and the way our calendar is and the way our language is and stuff like that, versus you just ate a human this afternoon. And I'm like, I hope not.
There we go. Well, we do have to go back and address the cemetery. Like, where are the bodies? And like Scotty Boy in the chat says, my question about the amount of people buried in the cemetery, does that include the ones in a mausoleum or the buildings in the cemetery?
Good question.
And then I think Danielson was talking about cremation. So like maybe people are like being cremated more,
Yeah.
But millions
and someone
of
also in the chat mentioned about selling the body parts. Like that's what they do with a lot of these abortions. A lot of the things that go in here are made with child
fetal tissue. Yep.
Thank you very much. Yeah, fetal tissue. So like I would agree that our numbers have been inflated, but I thought about that a while ago when I was living in Toronto, being like, I haven't seen a cemetery pop up. Like, when you do the math, it's hard to agree. I agree that they're doing other nefarious things because we know they are. And I don't even want to get on here being like what I think it is. We were just chatting about it. I'm like, it's sickening if that's what they're doing. Look, listen, one of my favorite shows that I watched was Squid Games, and that was all about organ harvesting. That's what that show was about.
Pretty much.
It wasn't about the money. You give away enough money
it was about the elite too, the masked parties, watching and getting off on the rocks.
Yeah.
So
a little bit of everything. Let's have people turn on each other. Let's do some organ harvesting and have the elite people get the bet on who gets killed.
Think about this. What about island nations? So we recently just went to Kauai. We got stuck there during the tsunami warning, right?
Kauai.
There were so many cemeteries around that place, but not very big. And so I'm thinking okay, the population of Kauai is probably not that much. So when people die, it's kind of okay, they can manage it. But they had to, we had a tour, we know, this tour guide thing. And they're they have to import certain people too to kind of get these jobs rolling. It just depends, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's one of those things that makes you think.
Here's my final take. It just popped in my head. And I'm sitting there going I think the real number of how many people are in the world is between 1 to 1.5 billion, because the Guidestones wanted it to be around 500 million. And what happened in 2020 was, hey, we can get rid of 500,000 to 750 or a billion people. Then we're at that number. So I don't feel it's 8 or 7 billion. I feel it's probably between 1.5, maybe 2. And through poisoning us and all this other stuff, and especially what happened in 2020, I'm I can see it being that low, to the point where if we can get rid of, they wanted 500 million people.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the US is not 340, maybe it's 100 million, listen.
You never know.
They lie about everything.
Yeah.
They lie about everything.
Right. And how many people are being double counted? Are they actually real people? Are they still alive? That kind of thing. The census data is all a mess. All right.
Yeah.
So this last video, before we call it quits here, this guy, I sent this to you, Flex, because I was fascinated by this. I'd never heard about this idea, but it's about the moon, the man on the moon, all the pockets and the craters and stuff that we see is actually a reflection of the Earth's continents.
Yes.
And I had never heard this idea before. So
really?
It fascinated me.
Bro, I've been deep into this for at least 2 years with moon stuff.
Okay. But in his little caption here, this is Charlie T. Griffin on Instagram. He says, "Do you think the Germans got this right?" So apparently the Germans were talking about this.
Well, okay. They make good automobiles. Why not?
So let's check this out.
Nazis were probably actually right about this. The moon is a reflection of the Earth, and it's basically a map in the sky. That's why in World War II, they were so obsessed with Antarctica, and they wanted to go over there because they wanted to see what other secret lands were passed over there. And I showed this video of the map about a year ago, the moon map reflection, German map, but all those other sections over there on the left, that's all ice. This is where we are on the right. That's Earth. And those are all of our continents. But if you go anywhere outside of that, it's all ice, because the sun has a 26,000 cycle where here, this is the path of the sun over our continents. It's only in that quarter of the moon. And in 2,000 years, it'll be over on the left side, and then those continents will all thaw out. But right now, they're all ice. So here's a more detailed picture of that map. Over on the right, those are our continents. And everywhere outside of it, that is all ice, because the sun is not traveling in those regions, only in our section. But every 2,000 years or so, it slowly drifts into the next quarter of the moon reflection map. It's just a new land of continents, but they're all covered by ice because there's no actual sun over there to melt the ice that's on top of there. And that's why we hear about global warming happening and that the sea levels are going to rise, but that's only because the sun is actually changing position. It's not getting hotter, and it's going to be melting the ice over on the side continents. So sea levels are going to rise. That's why we also hear about how half of Antarctica is freezing and half is warming up. That's because it's actually a giant ice ring. It's a circle. So one side of it has more sun and one side has less sun. So that's why it doesn't really make too much sense when they say one half is warming up and one half is freezing, but it's just because of the position of the sun. The Nazis were...
Yeah, he was kind of babbling there towards the end. But fascinating idea. I'm thinking, okay, this explains the ice wall. This explains flat Earth. That explains so much more land where aliens can go and live and all this stuff, right?
I'm 100% a flat earther, and we'll get into that as weeks go on. I think every week we'll bring in a moon. I got lots of moon stuff, Greg. Some really interesting stuff. Like how is it lit? Why does half of it disappear? How far it is and stuff like that.
Why is there a dark side of the moon?
Well, that's yeah. And I won't talk about that today because every week I'd like to bring in a video. We can always end with a little moon talk. But I totally agree. The sun is not that far away. The moon's not that far away. The moon has its own light source, which again, there's tons of videos that we can talk about that on. And yeah, I'm like, that's why they call it ET, extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial doesn't mean ET and aliens. It means terrestrial is Latin for land. There's extra land outside of it.
Right.
And that's and there's no reason why you would have all these countries come together, create a treaty, and basically say, if you go to the Antarctic, we'll blow your nuts off.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, we have to really think about that. The moon, definitely, Daniel's saying it could be an alien base. I don't think we ever landed on it because I think they realized they couldn't. Or there was something on there.
So here's what Big Ron thinks, that the moon was actually a spaceship. And it's hollow. The reason why, because they sent something up there and it ran into the moon and it reverberated. It sent out reverberations. Yeah. So they're thinking it was like, it rang like a bell almost.
Yeah.
But I just don't know why it doesn't rotate. And I get the gravitational pull of Earth would cause it to rotate around, orbit around Earth, but it doesn't spin.
But if there is a gravitational pull, if gravity really does exist, there's a lot that doesn't make sense when you peel it back and look at it. And it's just kind of I'm just sitting there going I think it does move with the sun. Mm-hmm. It's not as far away as it is. We're not, I'm just excited about all this shit, Greg, because I know everything they tell us is a lie. So when I sit there going, is the moon that far away?
Right.
Nope. It's gotta be close.
Richard said, no other moons work like that. They spin. No. They have an orbit, or they have a rotational. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's tons of videos on this stuff, and and it's just I don't think we're on a ball spinning super fast. And again, every week I'll give you little ideas why and stuff that I've seen, and I was just the way aeroplane, how they work. They never have to pitch their nose down. If you ask anyone who flies a plane, and I have two friends that are pilots, and they both said years ago, no, we're flat, bro. We don't, our instruments are for it to be flat. You couldn't find the north, and a compass wouldn't work on a globe. It has to be flat. And the tree of life, you gotta wait till next week, folks. Sorry.
Good
shit. Yeah.
Right. So Danielson in the chat saying, because if it rotated, we would see that Nazi base on the backside. So
you would see some base, you know what I mean?
Right.
We have to really just think about all this. And that's why I'm super excited.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Do research, because I'm man, they don't tell the truth about anything.
Right. And you have to wonder
here
why.
on the show, we catch them. That's our job, is we catch you guys lying to us. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's out of your own mouth. Sometimes it's, kind of in code, but this is what we do here on this podcast.
Oh yeah.
Really, really strange reels. We catch you, bro. We catch you.
Danielson's asking, did Strange Sauna just turn into a flat earth podcast? Bro, it's always been. I mean, Flex has been a flat earther from day one. Okay. He's going to try to convince me along the way as we go through these, these videos and stuff. But hey, I can see it.
To me, it equates to 9/11. We have engineers, we have physics, and when we talk about 9/11, I'm not going to get into it, but we know what we're talking about, how heat and steel beams and the rate of falling at free fall and stuff. When you take the math doesn't math with the Earth being a globe. Now, I think we might be living on a flat part, and the underneath part could be circular. But the fact of the matter is, folks, and I'll leave it at this, they've never taken a photo from space. It's always CGI. NASA has said that. And if you do take a photo, why can't you zoom in a little bit on that photo and show us a cruise ship on its side or upside down visiting Australia? Sorry, Show it to us.
They do.
Show
It's called Google Earth. Come on, Flex. Yeah.
And Google, like Google, come on. It's just
exactly.
And the Bible says so. The Bible says we're a flat plane. The stars and the sun rotate. Everything's around us.
Okay,
There's
I don't know about that, but hey. I don't know if it says you live on a flat earth. It does say there's a firmament. It talks about the firmament.
Yeah.
And as above, so below kind of refers to that.
You wouldn't be able to have a firmament if there wasn't a flat plane, because then it would be a shield. It'd be all the way around. It'd be more, they've always called it that. It's a half dome, because I think the first part that we live on is flat. And maybe the earth is so big that we are circular, but the part we live on is flat. You know what I mean? Like, they lie about everything. That's our shirt. They lie about everything.
They do. They do, dude.
Yeah.
I totally get you. Yeah. So anyway, that was the show for today, you guys. We wanted to keep it light and fluffy. We want to have fun on this show. Talking about politics, it's freaking stressful, dude. Like, it makes me mad. Flex, you're freaking steaming every time we get off the show. So we're gonna keep it lighter.
I'm steaming because within our group of people, we started having division. And like, we didn't come together with Part of My American, God rest their soul. Hopefully they come back, whatever. We have a family of people because of that show. I met everybody online because of that show. I've met Greg because of that show. And I'm sitting there saying, like, I started to see hate amongst
no more hate
no more hate, man.
Let's come together, like, everybody. It's a family.
We don't need to talk about, you know who. There's so much other fun stuff to talk about. And we are a conspiracy show. So, hey.
Hell yeah. Well, I had fun. Hopefully everybody in the chat had fun. Like, subscribe, share the video. Do the same on audio, okay? Everybody, you guys know what to do. Flex, stay safe up there in Canada. Everybody else, stay steamy.
Steamy.